Hey y'all, it's me. The glow up is yes. I'm a little late today. Had some technical difficulties. Listen, the enemy was trying it. He tried me, but it didn't work. So I'm here on today, y'all. I hope that you all had an amazing week. Listen, God has really been dealing with me with self. I don't know about y'all, but I've been going back and listening to my own podcast. And it's really been blessing me because a lot of times, right, like I can hear myself and I talk to myself, right? But I know that at the same time we're talking to each other. So it even gets me even more excited because I know that at the end of the day, I'm not by myself because we in this thing together. That's what the glow up is. We grow together, we glow together. Okay. The glow is real. So y'all, we've been talking about heart check. We've been talking about love. We've been talking about relationships, what love is. We've been talking about self-checking ourselves. Tonight, man, I kind of want to talk about do unto others, right? The same way that the things that you would do for you, do unto others. Do unto others. Be intentional. And we've been talking about being intentional too. Last week we talked about being intentional with every single thing that it is that you do and disciplining yourself because it's real. Like your intentions, your motives, everything that it is that's behind it, man. God already knows what it is. Like I've really been seriously thinking about these things, right? And being intentional, disciplining myself, and doing things unto other people, right? Because at the same time, I'm showing God that I'm intentional with this thing. And that's what I was talking about last week, y'all. If you didn't hear last week, go back to last week. If you're on here live, I appreciate you. I do see I got like one or two people. Yeah, looking at this right now. That's awesome. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Continue to share it and get people to subscribe because this is down to earth. This is just down to earth talk and it's real talk because we is out like life is out here life and for real. Like life is out here life and it's throwing us curveballs. It's doing all different types of things. But at the same time, listen, you're not in this thing alone. And your girl, your auntie, your cousin, Toya, the glow up is got you, boo boo. Okay. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. But, anyways, so last week we talked about being intentional and being serious about what it is that God has given us, right? And so this week I kind of wanted to talk about um, not just being intentional, right? But also being mindful of the motives that's behind the things that it is that we want to do. Like, is there a secret motive behind what it is that you want? And that's the thing, right? Is that sometimes we have our own motives. And sometimes they can be good things, sometimes they can be bad things. And sometimes they may start off being good, but then it can turn into something that may not be good for you and your soul and your journey and where God is really trying to take you to. And so I believe that God really does help, really help us to function through that because what he does is he helps us maneuver through that and he helps shows us, okay, this may not be the right time for you to have that or obtain that, and he knows the best time for everything, right? Even when our intentions are good, right, and they are pure, God wants to see how serious we are about this thing. And I was telling you about that last week too. So this week I kind of wanted to just focus on, okay, if we're being intentional with ourselves and we're being intentional with our growth, we're being intentional with our discipline, we're being intentional with what it is that God has given us, right? Then how do we go and we be intentional with blessing other people, right? Because when you bless other people, what ends up happening is it really blesses you. I'm just saying, sometimes it actually makes you feel really good to be able to be a blessing to a lot of people. And for me, right, and I tell my family this all the time, I'm like, I am the gift, right? I'm a gift. I'm a gift to you. And I remind my mom of this all the time. I'm like, Mom, I'm your gift. Like God gave me to you, right? I could have had any mother in the world, but it was you, right, that he chose for me, right? And so I'm thankful for that, and I'm always constantly reminding her and my dad of that. Like I am the gift, and I'm that only girl. So it's even more of a, icing on the cake. And that's even more of a blessing, right? Because I feel like if you even have a Toya in your life, and this is the way you should be looking at yourself, right? If you have a Toya in your life, you are truly blessed. You are blessed to have me in your life. Like it is a blessing. It is a blessing to know me. It is a blessing to be connected to me. It is a blessing because I know who I am, right? And so these are the things that I want to make sure that I'm passing on to you. So then that way you understand who you are, right? But in order for you to understand who you are, you have to understand whose you are. Like, who do you belong to? And that is where we get into the next thing, because if we don't know whose we are, right, and we don't know who we are, we can't really bless other people. We can't do unto others as we do unto ourselves. We can't really give the love. We can't really share the love. We can't even be a blessing to other people because we're so stuck in our own ways. And so the more you get into, right, dealing with the issues that you have inside, and you begin to do things for other people, like, and that is crazy because I think that, when we sit back and we look at the bigger picture, right, and we don't see it for what it is right now, because sometimes we just look at the present moment, and we're in the present moment and we're like, I don't know if I can really be a blessing to that person because I got my own stuff going on. Sometimes even in the blessing, it doesn't have to be money. It can just be an ear, right? It can just be a simple smile, right, that blesses a person. It can just be you just being in that presence and just being there. That can be the blessing. I think sometimes we hold on to materialistic things because that's where our mind is always set to, because guess what? That's what the world tells us. The world wants us to think that we need things, right, in order to feel loved. We have to have things in order to bless people, when people really, sometimes it's not just about the money, it's not just about the materialistic things. People, you are the gift. Like, we have to recognize that we are the gift, and we have to recognize too that sometimes even in this life, right, even though we are blessed, right, you are the blessing. Like, you come to bless other people. Like, the things that you're going through right now, the things, the tests, the trials, all of those things are not in vain. Like, even to the relationships that you have, that you're around, right, even to the negativity, like, it's still always working for your good. Even when you don't feel like it is, right, in this present moment, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. But when you go to and you fast forward your life and you go to 6 months from now, you will really understand and appreciate what it was in that phase, in that process, because the process don't feel good sometimes. It's uncomfortable, right? And sometimes relationships make you feel some type of way because you're just like, I didn't even want to do that. I didn't even want to let this relationship go. But I know that it's not doing anything for me anymore, right? And so that's why you have to be mindful of knowing thyself, and you have to be able to know thyself in order to give to other people, to be able to be able to really, be able to speak life over them, right? And even be able to speak life over yourself, because guess what? You ain't got to wait for the preacher, the pastor. You ain't got to wait for the deacon, nobody, none of the people with the titles. You don't have to wait for them. And I'm not saying that they are not anointed. I'm not saying that at all, but start really examining yourself, because this is really a real thing. It's like we all have power, and we're not utilizing the power that God has really given us. And we can't really understand the power that He's given us, right? Because we don't stay long enough to really sit there and talk to Him. And I think that, even disciplining yourself to get to a place where you begin to talk to the God in you, even if it's 5 minutes and you go from 5 minutes to 15 minutes, from 15 minutes to 30 minutes, next thing you know, you're talking to them for a whole hour. Like, it's crazy, because for me, I like to talk to them when I'm in the shower. I like to talk to them before I go to sleep. I like to talk to them, not even just before I go to sleep, but I love to talk to them in the morning. I love to have just a worship, right? I just love to set the atmosphere in the morning and set my mood and command my morning. I'm like so deep when commanding my morning. I'm like, today's going to be a great day. It's going to be an awesome day. Even when things seem like it's going up against the wall, I speak over that thing, okay? Because it's all in perspective. And I truly believe that the enemy wants us to see things a certain way. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in seeing things a certain way, right? And we perceive them a certain way, and we want to receive them the same way that God got us out of that way. God's gonna bless me the same way that the same way He got me out of that way, He gonna get me out of it again the same way. And God sometimes doesn't do it the same way that He did it the last time. Sometimes God does it in a different way. And so that's a whole nother, thing, is that God wants to be able to bless you, right? He wants to be able to sow seeds into you. He wants to be able to have people to come around you that's going to help build you up, not only help build you up, but also that's going to be able to be there for you when you need it, right? And that's the thing, is that he causes us to be in relationships. He wants us to be in relationship with people. You are not an island by yourself. I say it again, you are not an island by yourself. So doing unto others as you would do for yourself, right, is a real thing. Like, we have to be able to do that, because if we're not looking at it in that way, because even living this life and living this journey right now, you're living it not just for yourself, you're living it for somebody else. So you have to really do this life thing good. Do it well, live it up, have fun, go travel, go and do some things that you usually wouldn't do. Switch your hair up, make it make it a great day. Go and take care of you, put you together, like get you all the way together. Y'all, I'm learning so much about myself in this new city. I'm loving the new city. I'm out exploring. Okay, listen. So last week I decided that I wanted to go out, right? And I got lost. I got lost in the city. But Charlotte is so big. First and foremost. But I went out last week. I love Famous Days. So I went and got me some Famous Days last. I went and got Famous Days. That was my cheat meal. Yep, I'm still on it though. But that was my cheat meal. I enjoyed Famous Days, but then afterwards, right, I decided that I wanted to just go around and explore some things, right? So I had went to the bowling alley, this place called Spare Time. Listen, Spare Time got escape rooms. They got all these different things, and I'm just in there, right, just walking around and just seeing the different things that's out there, right? And I run across people, and I'm just such a people person anyway, because I just like to speak to people. I'm like, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? How you doing? And it's so crazy because they're like, oh, wait a minute, she can't be from around here, right? And it's so funny, but they're so friendly too. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just feel like I belong here. It is so crazy. Like, God will begin to show you that you belong, like you belong. And that is so crazy because I love Virginia, right? But it's something about Charlotte that's just different, right? So me being here, it's like the people are just so welcoming. And I got to meet two friends. I got two friends now. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but it's just relationships, right? It's just relationships, it's building relationships. And you realize that you have things in common, so you just build relationships. So I think that's cool, that's dope. And then I end up going to Roses and end up trying to see what I can find for the house. And it's just been amazing to be able to do that. And I'm just so honored and thankful that, that God has been able to do that, right? And so at the same time, I just been paying attention to what it is that he's been showing me, right? Is that, Toya, you are the blessing, you are the gift. And so I say the same thing to you. You are the blessing, you are the gift. Go be that gift, go be that blessing that he's called you to be. You don't have to be in the house all the time. You don't have to be out here. And I understand that people got kids. I understand you got kids, but you need to set some time for yourself. So then that way you can really truly understand that you are truly a blessing to somebody. And if somebody mistreated you and they didn't deserve you and they didn't deserve your company and seek peace, you did exactly what you needed to do. You know what I'm saying? You paused, you thought about it, you prayed on it, and you said, yep, I got to cut them loose. I got to cut the suckers loose. I got to let them go. They got to go bye-bye because you ain't no good for me. And sometimes, guess what? It's okay for you to realize that, because what's happening is that you're changing. You're changing, you're evolving. And because you are evolving, you're beginning to accept this true you. You're beginning to really embrace you. And I'm just like, man, in 3 more years, right, I'll be 40. And so I sit back and I think about that. And I'm just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Where did the time really go? Where did the time really go? Where did it go? Where did the time really go? Like, how? Like, where did time go? And so I'm like, God, I have to be mindful of my time. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything that it is that you call me to do before you call me home, because a lot of us think that we have the time. We think that we have more time on this earth. We think that we have all of the time in the world to get this done, to do this, to do that. And God is calling us to be the blessing to somebody. God is calling us to be able to bless other people, right? And so whether or not if it's with your presence, whether or not if it's with your words of encouragement, whether or not if it's with, the money, if he tells you to sow a seed into them, cool. But if not, anything that you do, and I say it all the time, and this goes for me anyways. I'm like, God, listen, I gotta ask God, is that okay for me to do? I can't just be out here just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool if that's what he calls you to do, but I'm always prayerful on, God, is it cool for me to go out today and sow? Is it all right for me to sow in this way? Because there's different ways that you can sow. It's different ways that you can to give to people and to be a blessing to people. And so, I'm always constantly trying to elevate. I'm constantly trying to grow because that's what we're supposed to be doing, right? We're supposed to be growing to glow. And our light is supposed to shine. And so there should be people that are coming to you that's being drawn to the light, right? And as they see the light, and it's just like, man, it's something about you. And they can't even put their fingers on it. But because you're intentional with your relationship with God, but you're intentional with your relationship with you. So then, because you're intentional with your relationship with God, and then you become intentional with your relationship with you, then you can actually say, okay, now I feel like I'm comfortable enough to be able to share who I am with somebody else. And you have to be mindful of sharing your precious jewels, because guess what? You don't know who is out here trying to, distract you, because people come to distract you. Yeah, they come because the enemy will come to you dressed up, tall, 6 feet, right? Light skin. Girl, I'm describing Chris Brown. I'm terrible. Y'all. I'm over here describing Chris Brown. I love me some Chris Brown. I'm just really attracted to that man. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying is that sometimes what'll happen is the enemy will dress it up, make it look good, okay? Make it look good, and have them saying all of the right things to you, okay? And we have to be mindful because, we have standards. We have standards, we have expectations for ourselves, but we also have expectations. Let's be real, we got expectations for them too. We got expectations for them too, right? And what we want in a person, right? And we have to really be serious with ourselves is, do I really want a relationship? And if I do desire a relationship, am I ready to even receive the relationship? Am I even ready to even receive friendship? And do I need to even entertain this, right? Do I need to even entertain this opportunity? This is a great opportunity, but maybe the timing is off, And so that's the thing too, is that sometimes we don't even want to say, we don't want to be mature about the situation. We don't want to say, well, right now it's not the time. And so I know for me, when I got out of my relationship, I was like, you know what? It had gotten to a point where I was just like, okay, so this relationship didn't work, right? And afterwards, you start living, people see you. People see you. They see you glowing. They see you doing all these things. And I was like, look, listen, I'm not in a space right now to be in a relationship. So I don't really want that. And it's just like, well, I can be a friend. I'm just like, no, because I'm attracted to you and you're attracted to me. And then one thing may lead to another. And I just can't, I got to be intentional with my focus right now. You're going to really distract me. Right. And even though you may be a great person, right now it's just not the right time for me. So me being intentional with being single, right, for 2 years, like literally being single for those 2 years, it really helped me, right? Because I put in my mind that I wanted this. This is what I need. I know that I need this. And I knew that if I had really entertained that situation, that opportunity, even though the guy was nice, it seemed like he was, a nice man of God, and he had, he knew who God was, right? He had a relationship, because I could see a little bit of the fruit, I'm saying. I ain't dig too deep into it, I'm saying. I wasn't trying to be a creeper or anything on his Facebook page and all of that, but I seen that, he had a relationship, and I was like, okay, he got a little fruit. I see it, I'm saying, but I was just like, no, that ain't gonna be good for me right now, because I'm not there, right? And I need to get some more things for me that I need to heal with. And I think a lot of us, if we are very, very honest with ourselves, it's some healing that we got to do. And some of us just don't want to do the work. So doing unto you and having yourself do unto others, right? The only way that we can do that is we do the work. We got to put the work in. We got to put the time in, and we have to be intentional. There's that word again, intentional, because if we're not intentional with where we're supposed to be going, or what it is that God wants us to do, we can't even really get the instructions to really be able to apply it, and then we can't even be the blessing. And some of us don't even know that we are a blessing. And I think that's the whole thing. It's like identity. Here we go again with the identity. We don't even know that we are the blessed. And how ironic do I have a shirt on that actually says blessed? Because I am. I'm truly blessed. And I'm going to continue to be blessed. Okay. And can't nobody stop me from being blessed because God controls my blessings and I already have them. Okay. Yup. I said it. Sure do. And so do you. And so do you. And so when you are confident in him and you know his word, right, you begin to just live it, right? Because if you notice that I'm not on here always giving you all scripture. I'm not on here always trying to, tell you. I'm telling you the things that I'm going through, and I'm sharing these things with you because, and I'm just sharing my perspective on them, right? Because all of this is perspective. All of these things that I've experienced is not just for me, it's for people, right? And so what I know is that, okay, God, you call me to be an encourager. I know that. Okay, God, you called me to learn, right? I'm a learner. Not only am I a learner, but I'm a thinker. And sometimes I can overthink, and you know this, right? But there's a set of skills that you have, Toya, that world needs, that the world needs, because if the world didn't need those skills, I wouldn't have allowed you to even be able to be here in this moment, in this present moment. And you don't even know where you're gonna be in the next couple of months, let alone next few years. You don't even know who and what relationships that I'm going to bless you with, right? But things are happening, things are blossoming now, and I'm so excited about it because I know that I belong here. And when you realize that where you're at in your journey right now is okay, like even if you haven't arrived yet, because guess what? None of us have really truly arrived. You know what I'm saying? We probably never will truly arrive, right? But maybe to our expectations, we arrive. And maybe not, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you're an overachiever like me. Maybe you're just so hard on yourself where you don't extend yourself grace, but we got to learn to extend ourselves some grace. I'm learning that in this season, extending myself some grace. And I'm okay with that. I'm extending myself some grace. It's okay to fail. And even when you fail, it ain't no such thing as failure. It's a lesson. Keep it moving. That L is no losses in the kingdom. And I said that before too, because it's not. And so being intentional with that whole thing, y'all, it's real. Like we have to be able to really touch base with ourselves. We have to be able to tap in. We got to be able to tap in with ourselves. If we're not able to control ourselves now in these moments, in this present moment, it's definitely going to affect our future. And so we have to be able to do for ourselves so we can do for others. And we have to understand that we are the blessing, that we are the blessing, that we are the gift, that we have to be able to know and be comfortable as being the gift, right? And being the blessing, right, to other people. And so, first and foremost, be a blessing to yourself. Be a blessing to yourself. Be a blessing to your kids if you have kids. Be a blessing to your spouse if you got, like, you can't just be out here just giving to people if you can't even give to the people that's already connected to you. How you out here giving to strangers and you ain't even out here doing for your own? How? How, Sway? I say that all the time. How, Sway? Like, you're not even investing time in your husband, sis. You're not even investing time in your wife. You're not investing your time in your relationship, in your committed relationships. Because guess what? It's committed relationships too that's aiming to get married, right? You're not just in a relationship just to be in a relationship. And this goes for friendships too, right? We have to bless those people that are around us. Sometimes we take those relationships for granted. And that's one of the main reasons why we can't be a blessing to other people, because we can't even bless the people that's around us, because we can't even be our true selves, right? Because we're afraid that they won't even accept who we are. When God says, I've already accepted you, and it doesn't matter whether or not they accept you or not, shake the dust and keep it moving. That's what I do. I shake the dust and I keep it moving. I shake the dust and I keep it moving, because I'm not going to sit right there and keep giving you my precious jewels. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to pray on it too. You see what I'm saying? Because it's people in your family who need, who do need you to sow seeds sometimes, and you have to be prayerful on that too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, take the initiative to start doing that, even if your significant other. Like, and just not try to throw things at people's face, because that's not what love is. We're going to talk about love is again, because I had so much feedback I had some people that actually reached out to me and was like, Toya, I need for you to talk about what love is again. And maybe we can talk about relationships again. And I said, okay, well, that's what we talk about. We talking about relationships with God. We talking about relationships with self, and we talking about relationships with others. That is what this is. Because without those things, without us talking about those relationships, those are the foundation to who you are. Those are the foundations as to where you're going, right? And what you're doing right now. All of that is. But anyways, I'm gonna get up off of here. And I hope and pray that each of you have a great, great night. Listen, I had such a wonderful week, and I'm excited, y'all, about what he's doing in your life just as much as I'm excited about what he's doing in mine. And even if you feel like you're not excited right now, get excited. Get excited. Like, really start doing things for you. Really start living intentionally. Asking God, God, where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? Take God out with you today. Like, listen, I go out on dates all the time with God. Yup, we go out together. He's literally, he's the only preparer that I need. He's the only preparer that I need for my husband. So even with that being said, like, I'm out here being intentional with, like, we go out. Yeah, me and God, we go out. Like, we in the car, we jamming, we listening to all different types of music. Yep, God like all types of music. I ain't gonna say he don't like I'm gonna say he just like Christian music. I ain't gonna say that. I'm just saying, like, we have a good time in my car. I don't know if anybody has ever been in my car, but we do carpool a lot. Me and God be in there singing. I just be doing karaoke with God. Let me get off here because y'all look, listen, I'm about to go off the deep end with that one. But anyways, listen, I'm just saying, like, I just feel like, God is just really my homie. And I feel like at the same time, listen, he can be all of that for you, right? And he knows where you are in your level. At your level, he respects your level, right? He respects you. And as long as you give him that same courtesy, and as long as it's you and him, it ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Your relationship. God, this is our relationship, right? This is our relationship. I love all different types of music, right? And it's positive messages, man, because they help build me up and they help encourage me. And we be in there just rolling. Okay. Yeah, we do. Because that's what we do. Like, God is really my homie. Like, when I say God is my homie, he's my father, he's all of that. But I enjoy him just being a homie sometimes. You get what I'm saying? It's just amazing to be able to have that type of friend. You'll ride or die for real. But anyways, I'm gonna get up off of here for real this time. But yeah, we'll talk about what love is again. And maybe we can put some more emphasis on that for next week. And maybe we will get to forgiveness soon. I promise we will get to forgiveness soon, because I did have somebody that was talking about that wanted some tips on forgiveness, right? And again, do unto you, right? Be good to yourself so you can be good to others. But be mindful, right, of receiving God's love. So then that way you can be good to you, and then you can be good to others. But anyways, y'all have a good night. And I'll see y'all next week. The glow up is, listen, we grow together, we glow together. We got this thing. We in this thing together. We are a lock. Auntie got you, cousin glow up is got you. Okay. See y'all next week. And bye.